ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वताय नमः। ओम श्री गुरु दत्तात्रेय नमः। ओम श्री महालक्ष्मी नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. We are doing Sri Eknathi Bhagavad Satsang. We will be continuing from chapter 3, verse 3 onwards. Antariksha said, O the king of great arms, the original Purusha, who is the Atman of all beings, created by these, all the great five elements, many beings of higher and lower categories, by his own measurements and for the purpose of proving himself alone. And we had completed until sub-verse 41. Let me reread the 42 and then continue from there onwards. So, Eknathi Bhagavad, chapter 3, verse 3 and sub-verse 42 onwards. Confusion is the root of this Maya, delusion is its shining flower, and wrong concept is the fruit, which is full of juice of sense objects. This is actually a very, very important. You need to underline this whole, this verse and embed in yourself and, make it a point to remember at all times. You know why? Because here, the sage is giving an understanding. Now, who is the sage here? Antariksha is now teaching this to King Janaka. So don't forget the Genesis here. So this is a very important thing because he's talking about the root. Where is the root of Maya? When is Maya being born? Confusion is the root of this Maya. Delusion is its shining flower and wrong concept is the fruit, which is full of the juice of sense objects. Now, what is this? Confusion. You're constantly confused about everything in life. Why? Because you don't have the right knowledge. Knowledge is missing. You're full of ignorance. Everybody in the world, they say that they know too much. That's the biggest delusion everybody lives in. Oh, I know. I have MBA degree. I am a Harvard graduate. I have done this. I have done that. I worked in the company. I am the chairman. I am the CEO. Understand that material worldly knowledge is a limited one. And that is also in the domain of Maya. So what you think you know, please understand you actually don't know. Only the Sadguru, who is the Krishna Bhagwan himself, can you give you the right knowledge and the real knowledge even in the material world. And if you have your ego, please remember, no knowledge is going to come. This is the truth. Grace of the Sadguru can come. Everybody gets an opportunity first to learn. Learning is the foundation of the world, of spiritual world. Forget about spirituality. First, you need to learn to become a good human being. The right knowledge is important, and for which the ability to learn is the most important. So your ego will be the root cause of destruction, not only of you, but of all around you. Because you don't want to learn, and when you don't want to learn, the right knowledge is never going to come. Please understand. Learning doesn't mean I have knowledge or I have my understanding. Your understanding is not right. That is why you're coming to a guru. The guru is going to teach you the right knowledge, the way of life. Why is Bhagavata called the way of life? Because today people don't understand what is the way of life in the material world as well. Forget about spiritual. Spirituality is a far off thing. First, understand the way of life in the material world. You know what my Krishna Guruji said? He said, this spiritual knowledge to understand, today nobody has that ability. So you know what he's going to give? He's going to teach people the mystical way of life. How to live, a righteous way of life. At least, in the path of following the dharma. But forget about that also. He's still going to teach the material worldly ways. How do you live in the right way of life? That is what we are going to teach through the mystical way of life program. Not some spiritual knowledge. Spirituality is a far off thing. To come into spiritual itself, first you need to surrender. First you need to have the humility and humbleness to learn. First you have to become a good human being. Understand your own limitation. Understand your own Shadripus. That's the 6 enemies of humankind. Understand your own tendencies, nature. And then you need to have the fire in your belly that I want to learn. I want to transform. For which first you have to give up what you know, what you don't know, what you think you have the identification with the mind, body, everything, all that you have to give up. And come with humility to first learn. Don't go by what you know. See, when I always give this body's example. When I came to my Gurudev as a disciple, the first go, I realized it took me many years to understand that I don't even know anything in the material world. Everything that I thought I knew was wrong, because we are understanding based on the mind. The Guru gives you the truth, the right knowledge. First, you need to have humility to learn. Don't bring your ego, don't bring your arrogance. Nothing is going to work. No knowledge will come. Even he will not open his mouth and give you knowledge. This is what happens. It took me 4 years. First 4 years, my Gurudev destroyed my ego. Till that ego doesn't get destroyed, knowledge will not even open up. I'm talking about spiritual knowledge. Material knowledge is separate. Because first you need to know how to live in this world, following the way of life. Bhagavata is a way of life. So understand. So this is a very important verse. Don't forget. So let us continue. The non-existing forms of this Maya, it is pregnant by child, which is truth and untruth. And it has got many children born out of asatya, the falsehood. This is very, very, very profound. What does he mean? The non-existing forms of Maya. We are not talking about the existing, the non-existing forms of Maya, it is pregnant by the child, which is truth and untruth. What is the pregnant by the child? What are the children? Means truth and untruth. See, in the material world, you are constantly saying, oh, this is right, that is wrong. This is good, this is bad. This is truth and this is untruth. But from whose point of view? Your point of view? What is truth? If I ask you the question, what is truth according to you and what is untruth? You will have no answer. Truth from some petty human being's mind's point of view, which has no base at all. There's no foundation to it, because your mind is full of that pigsty. That is what is there in your mind. And absolutely minus knowledge, not even zero knowledge. You are below minus. So when you don't know anything in the material world also, you don't know anything. You think just because you have gone and done some education from some college, somebody has taught you, so you are working in some company, doesn't give you any right to say you know. Because you don't even understand even, 0.000.1% of what material world means. You don't even have experience. You have not seen the world. You have not worked. You don't know. Even today, my Guruji will say, Rajma, you still don't know a lot of things in the world, which is the truth. Because I am not been exposed to that. So we should not talk when we don't know anything at all. So first, learning is the most important thing. So don't go by this right, wrong, good, bad, and truth and untruth. All that is, it stands nil. So whatever your versions of truth is, it will be falsehood in somebody else's world. So what is being told? It's pregnant by the child, which is truth and untruth. The truth is only one. Krishna Bhagwan alone is real. Everything else is unreal. The truth is what he teaches you. Bhagavad Gita is the truth. Srimad Bhagavatam is the truth. This scripture, Uddhav Gita, is the truth. Besides that, there is no truth. And especially whatever nonsense your mind says is the minus level. Don't even open your mouth. Next. And it has got many children born out of asatya, that is falsehood. Now, what is this falsehood? Falsehood, asatya, many children born out of falsehood. And this falsehood is whatever your mind is giving you. We did Tripura Rahasyam, beautiful lesson. I don't know why people just sit in satsang, but not even imbibe even 0.1% of the knowledge the Guru is giving you. Krishna Bhagwan is sitting here and imparting this knowledge. And what are you doing there? Just sitting there, not even learning. He's talking about imagination, kalpana, voracious desires, all that. You need to write and keep it in front of you. So that every single day when you get up, you should first read that. It is your mind's imaginations, all the falsehood which your mind keeps talking about. And you believe that is the truth and you think you know so much. And you try to judge somebody, the world and everything around you with some nonsense your mind is giving. This is called Maya. How does Maya play in your life? For understanding the truth, first you need to tell your mind to shut and stop the nonsensical thoughts that goes on. Stop dwelling on those stupid thoughts of yours. Focus, have that ekagrata. If you want to become first a good human being, stop giving this, negatives to yourself. Stop saying all these nonsensical stories which your mind is throwing at you. Most important, you need to have a focus. You need to write down things. You need to be very disciplined. It all starts with the word called discipline, self discipline. That is the first word. And then follow a routine in your life. This is the basic thing, the way of life. Whatever my Guruji has taught in the mythical way of life, not even 1% you are following in your life. So how will you even evolve? So understand, this falsehood is too many in your life. I can't even describe. If I have to do this verse, no, we will continue doing for the next many years also. We cannot even stop. So I'm going forward. I don't know what I have to say to, give an explanation on this Maya. Because everybody is living in this falsehood every single moment in their life. Why? Because you are only dwelling on the thoughts which your mind is saying. You are not even investigating. You are not even understanding. Please understand. When you come to your Sadguru, you know why he gives everybody an opportunity to come to him? It is most important that to understand that I want to change. First is he gives everybody an opportunity to come to him so that you can change a little bit in your life. The change is not major. He's not expecting you to become self-realized being. He's only going to give you that opportunity where you can overcome some tendencies of yours so that your life, your house can be put in order. Nothing more than that. Spiritual journey is a far off thing. First, become disciplined in your life. So he gives a understanding how to live, how to eat. You're watching, you're absorbing, you're doing things. He gives you a knowledge, what happens in the world, how to do things, basic things. Why? Because you have never learned. Your parents have not taught, no school teachers, no college teachers. Your parents though worst. Why? Because they themselves don't know. You can't blame them also. Why? Their parents also have not taught. So don't even say that, I used to learn from my parents. Your parents are minus level. If they would have taught, today they would have been something. This body is mother's example. She's suffering very badly with diabetes. Diabetes. This morning also she completely was, she lost her consciousness. Why? Because she was unconscious because her sugar level went down. Why did that happen? Because at that age of 30 and 40, she did not eat in the right manner. She abused her body. And that abuse affects now the person. Today, no matter what you can do, nothing is going to help you. When my Guruji is telling you people eat like this, do this, you people don't want to listen. That is going to be your funeral. Understand this truth. A guru can only give you the knowledge and guidance, and he's telling you why you should do, what you should do. Whatever the abuse we have done at the age of 20, 30 and 40, everything will start right after 35. Your hormone issues, your weight issues, your physical, mobility issues, everything will start. Why? Because you have abused your body. You have not followed a proper way of life, eating in moderation at the right time, eating all the food, not only depending on, I love this, I like this, I do like this. And even you have destroyed your children's life also. Why? Because you have not disciplined them. What is going to be their future? Today, my Guruji is striving very hard so that we can help the world, so that their lives can be better. Understand, he has nothing to gain from anybody. There's a very beautiful story in Upanishad Ganga which you have to watch. My Guruji is that. I watched that and I cried. And this is a story of Haridas. Haridas is a great singer. He only sings for Radha Krishna. And that too, when Radha Maya tells him, please sing a song for my Lalla, my Krishna Bhagwan. When she requests him, then only he will sing, not otherwise. And there's a very small boy who comes to him. His name is Tansen. He's named that eventually. He comes to his Gurudev. His father brings this boy, his son, and says, my son has a beautiful voice. Can you teach him? And then he takes him as a disciple. Okay. And this child learns, I think, I don't know how many years, many years, some 10, 15 or 20 years he learns. He becomes a young man. And until that period of time, he sits and does the singing, the sadhana, and his Gurudev teaches, he keeps telling him, you have to sing like this, you have to perfect this, and he continues to do. And finally he tells him, now whatever Vidya I have given it to you. Now there is nothing more for me to give. And after that, then he goes and he learns from another Sufi saint, and from him he also learns the music, and then he continues. Then he goes and he is in one of the king's court, and finally he reaches the King Akbar's court, and there he's singing. and listening to this song, and Akbar is very, very pleased. And at that time, he's asking Tansen, he's saying, who is better singer than you? He says, my Gurudev Haridas. And then Akbar says, oh my God, I've heard about this Tulsidas, Surdas, and now Haridas. Will they come and sing for me? What was his answer? My Guru, you cannot get my Gurudev to come and sing for you. He doesn't care about your kingsmanship. He doesn't care about your money. He's not afraid of you. He doesn't even bother about you. He's beyond everything. He doesn't care about your position, your power, your money. You can't buy him. You can't even order him to come because he's not afraid of anything. He's beyond all that. And then Akbar gets very, he's saying, can I come to Vrindavan? Where is your Gurudev? My Gurudev is in Vrindavan. He only sings for Radha and Krishna. And only when Radha Maya says, sing this song for Krishna Bhagwan, then he will sing, not otherwise. And then what happens? Then Akbar says, can I come with you? So Haridas says, I cannot guarantee. So both of them come to Vrindavan. And then Tansen is there with his Guru. And he's singing. It's been 3 days. His Guru didn't sing. And you know how Akbar is? He's not wearing his, his crown and everything. He's dressed simple. And he's waiting there, waiting so that he can hear to the singing of Haridas. And then what happens finally? Tansen makes a mistake when he's singing the song. Then suddenly Haridas wakes up and says, you know what? Radha Maya is telling me to sing a song for Lalla. So I need to sing. That is Krishna Bhagwan. She very lovingly says. So I need to sing the song. And then he starts singing. And when his disciple is singing, he's telling, you're making a mistake. You have made a mistake. Radha Maya will tell, what is this you have taught him? He's not singing properly. Then he wakes up and he immediately starts singing. And then Akbar comes running. He sits there. He's listening to this song and he's in tears. And then after he finishes, then he comes there and he sits down. He's literally crying. And then Haridas asks him, you are not used to having this humility, humbleness. You cannot be like this, no? Coming here and bowing down to somebody else. And then he comes and lifts him. He makes him sit on his, that cot and says, it's not that my disciple did not sing properly. He deliberately made a mistake so that I can sing and you can listen to my song. And that time he says, he's the greatest one. But you know what? I literally cried. My Gurudev is that Sadguru who nobody can buy. Nobody can enter this place. He cannot be bought with anybody's money or arrogance or ego or nothing. Only with love and humility and humbleness. Service to him is the greatest thing. And when you have such a kind of a master, understand it has to be your goal to make your difference in your life, not bring this arrogance. And that was the most touching one. He creates Tansen. It is because of Haridas Tansen is there, not otherwise round. So this Sadguru makes these great beings in life. He doesn't give a damn about any money, fame, name. Nobody can even come to him without his will. Understand this truth. Entry over here is not so easy because everybody seems to take things for granted when it's coming to the Sadguru. Understand who you have in your life. So that was such a beautiful story. And Akbar bows down. I literally cried. So my Gurudev is like that. He is not interested for anybody's name, fame, money. You can't buy him with money. If he wishes, then only he will give knowledge. First, he will check your deservability. Are you even worthy of his discipleship? Understand this truth. First, you need to prove yourself that you are deserving. So these are the great masters in this universe. And today I was reading a very important lesson and I think it's in the same Upanishad Ganga. And it is told that there are many gurus in this world, but having a Sadguru it's a rarest of the thing. And understand, it is only the Sadguru who can give you the knowledge of Atman, not anybody, who can give you the direct experience of what it means to have self-realization, not any normal gurus in life. So when you have this guru, you need to revere and respect, not treat him like some ordinary human being. People take too much things for granted. So the non-existing forms, this Maya, It is pregnant by child, which is truth and untruth, and it has got many children born out of asatya and falsehood. Get out of this falsehood in your life. Don't waste your life and your time. Understand he has a lot more things to achieve. His time on this planet Earth is limited. It has the long tresses tied with the strong string of desires for objects, and it shines with the youth of ego and the sense of I-ness. This is what I've been talking about. It has the long tresses tied with the strong string of desire for objects. It is you who's running after the sense objects. It is your desire. And what does it say? And it shines with the youth of ego. What is it shining with? The youth of ego. First is it's all about I, me, myself. And the sense of I-ness. Oh, I am this body. I am some great being on this planet Earth. I am like this. I am like that. I am hurt. I am this. I am that. Can you stop this I nonsense? Don't waste your time and waste somebody else's time if you're not interested to progress in your life. Understand the right knowledge important. Today, to live in the material world or to do anything, first knowledge is the most important thing. And there is no age to learning. And most important is if you do not know how to discipline and live, understand, like my Guruji was telling, if you don't eat, if you don't do right things, you are going to be very sick. The world, everybody, you can have all millions of dollars, but nothing will cure your sickness today. So be very careful how you live and how you do things in your life. You need to be afraid of yourself. Don't take things for granted. When, my Guruji was saying this morning, looking at your mother, you should all be afraid of it. That you don't want to be in that kind of situation. It's not funny. You know how much of torture that is every day, pricking needles before food, lunch. It's a painful existence. So you need to care about your well-being. Discipline your life first. Stop giving reasons. And, understand, don't think that you're doing anybody a favor. When the Guru teaches, he's doing good to you. He's helping you so that your life, your house can be put in order. Understand, the grace can only be. You can tomorrow throw him out. There's a beautiful stories in Upanishad Ganga which you should watch and, write down those lessons. It's exactly every lesson that my Guruji has been imparting for so many years. And people will come and they think this is some, I don't know what. Waste everybody else's time. Don't do that. Value what you have, because the company of a Sadguru is the rarest. Being in the company of Krishna Bhagwan is not a joke. And only under his grace in firewall things will be good. He's fixing things for you. He's making your health better so that tomorrow you don't go and suffer. You don't know what is to come about. Only he knows your destiny, your past, present and the future. So be very serious in your life. Stop fooling yourself and fooling the world around. So what is he saying? It's saying it has the long tresses tied with a strong string of desire for sense objects. Everything in your world is driven by the desire for the objects of senses. Everything is to do with I want this, I want that, I want that, I want that. The whole world is running fast towards this. And it is their destruction. Understand this truth. And it shines with the youth of ego, big fat ego. You know what? The deflated ego is the biggest ego. Till you don't crush your ego, till you don't give up your ego, you cannot make progress. You cannot become a better human being. First understand, your ego has to be destroyed. Give up this ego. What is required is humility and humbleness. Let go of what has happened. Focus on what is to. Don't get into petty things. You can't keep getting angry at drop of a hat for everything. You can't think in your perspective. Look at the world. Learn. It's an opportunity and don't ruin the opportunity because this opportunity will never come back again. Value what you have. And the sense of I-ness. What is this I-ness? My body? What is this I-ness? Give up this attachment to the body. Why is it hurting? Why is it feeling nice? There is no truth to anything that your mind says. It is all lies. Everything that you think your mind is talking is all falsehood. And the more you dwell in the mind, the more you're going in the gutters. Considered to be a lady, she knits a web of pearls brought from the waters of mirage, which pearls she wears on her head. She puts the bud of champak of the sky and shows off her beauty. She takes out the gems from the heads of serpents appearing on ropes and prepares ornaments and puts them on her body. She prepares ankle rings from the silvery light shining on the shells and walks gaily. She prepares shoes out of the horns of her hair and walks. Ego is her eldest son, whom she loves than her own life. Look at this. This is the most important lesson. What does it mean? Ego. The whole description is about ego, a big fat ego. Whether it is your inflated ego, deflated ego, or martyrdom, it is still an ego. Ego is the most dangerous thing one can have. It's called ahamkara. Till you do not destroy the ego, nothing will happen in your life. No progress can be made, whether it's your material world or even in spiritual world. Spiritual world, though, forget it. You can't even get in anywhere. Material world also, you can't achieve anything. Because the world is not how you look at it and what you think it to be. It doesn't work like that. So learn from your master. Learn the right knowledge. Gain the right knowledge. He's teaching like a child to everybody. He's hand-holding them. He's very compassionate. Sometimes he's nice, sweet talks. Sometimes he'll use carrot and stick method. Sometimes he's going to give you one tight slap. Sometimes you can't even imagine the ways of the Sadguru's methods of teaching. And he employs every method so that he can make your life beautiful or better. And what is it saying? Ego is her eldest son, whom she lives more than her own life. You know, we all are so attached to the ego. Because of ego, you will destroy everything in life. Understand this. Love dies because of ego. It's very easy to take Krishna Bhagwan out of your life. Like this, you can do it. In the next go, understand, the grace, protection, everything is gone. I'm telling you, 17 years, there's so many people come and gone. It's very easy to go off. It's very difficult to get an entry here. Be very careful. Then, she prepares shoes out of the horns of hair and walks. Ego is, we've done that. In order that her family should spread, she delivered Mamta, that is minus, as her daughter at many places. An enticement was produced by her in the body, who was made son-in-law staying at the wife's home. It's only an anecdote, like how we learnt in Tripura Rahasyam, Muda, Moha, Kalpana, Horatius, Mahasana. I hope you remember this lesson. It is similarly. They're giving an example. What is this minus? How this arrogance comes? How this minus come? What is it talking about? In order that her family should spread, she delivered Mamata. What is it? Minus. I first, next is mine. My house, my children, my thing. This is mine. You know what? Nothing is yours. We are all beggars in this God's world. He has put some arms in our life and we are living on that arms. And we think we own everything. Be very grateful for what God has bestowed upon you. You don't know what life has. My Guruji will always say, if your life is worst, understand there are other people whose life is worse than yours. So be very thankful to God that you have a better life. You have to be thankful for whatever you have because you don't know other people's lives, their stories. It's horrifying. We are not in that situation. So be very grateful. Have the gratitude that you have everything in your life. God has given you this beautiful life. Be very grateful to that. And an enticement was produced by her in the body. What is this enticement? Enticement, I want this attraction to everything. And then what? Who was made son-in-law staying at the wife's home. So what does it mean? It means that, this enticement, who's the son-in-law staying at a wife's home. Why do they stay? Because they're getting everything. Attraction, enticement, minus. By the complexities of ego, excitement and minus, the world expanded automatically. How Maya expands in your life is what he's describing. How beautiful. What he's saying? By the complexities of ego, enticement and minus, the world expanded automatically. This sense of I-ness as a woman is developing her various limbs by very powerful experiments. What does it mean? He means the complexities of ego is so much. Because your ego, you don't even know when your ego has come. Something you hear, you're angry. Your ego has come. It's hurt or inflated. Either you are finding mighty pleased or you're deflated. Oh, I'm hurt. That is the biggest ego that a person can have. And ego can come in so many ways. So what is he saying? The complexities of ego. Ego is very complex and you know what? You can't even understand. Which means nobody will want to even do anything with you. Because even a drop of hat, when you get angry, what's Krishna Bhagavan saying in Bhagavad Gita? Anger is the doorway to hell. My Krishna Guruji has every single day taught me this. Rajma, anger has to be directed for winning in this world, not for self-destruction. Not for, misusing that anger or misdirecting that anger. Anger has to be directed to win and achieve whatever you want to do. Whatever ambition you have, whatever that you want to achieve in this world, you have to direct all your anger to that. Anger has to be directed for a good cause, not for self-destruction. Not for trying to misdirect that anger. That is not correct. That is why Krishna Bhagavan says, anger is the doorway to hell. You're already you're going towards hell. Very easy your downfall. Like that, the anger comes and destroys you. And that's why he's saying the complexities of ego, by the complexities of ego, because nobody knows what can trigger that ego. And if you cannot control that, and that is why sadhana is very important. Listening, the lesson has to be always repeated in your mind. You should not allow your mind to dwell on nonsensical subjects. See, because Maya is playing havoc in your life. So Maya can come in any form. Why? Because you are allowing on the subject. You are dwelling. Something that you see, something that you hear, something that think. Everything is Maya, triggering the ego in you constantly, making you angry for what? Ask this question, investigate. And then you will know where you are going wrong. It is not, most important. When my Guruji, when I was learning, when we were starting the foundation many years ago, he gave me this lesson. Understand, you are not here to change the world. First, change yourself. Become the best version of who you are. Be who you want to be. Become that great person first. And then lead the world. So the greatness comes with great efforts. It doesn't come just like that by doing nothing. You have to put a lot of effort. Self-effort is the most important thing. How much effort are you putting? And people like to give me the story. Oh, I work so much. What so much you work? Try coming and living here and doing work one day under the Guru. You people have not worked in your life. Nonsense people talk. I do so much work. What so much work you do? Ask yourself this question. My Guruji will always ask, when you are working for any organization, Rajma, what is the value are you giving? If you are getting 10x as a salary, you have to give 100x work to that company. That is what work means in Krishna Bhagwan's world, not this superfluous work which people are doing today. And they earn the big fat salary and think, and aham to the core. So what is it being saying? That the complexities of ego, use this opportunity. Learn from your Gurudev. Destroy this ego within you. Surrender that ego at the lotus feet of your Gurudev. That's the only way out. Let the humility come in, humbleness come in. Then you will be able to absorb the right knowledge. Knowledge will reveal, knowledge will open up. Then you will get the right knowledge, not otherwise. Guru Bhakti, Guru Seva. That is the only way out. Destroy all the karma that you have accrued for so many million lives of yours. You have the great, to be in the company of the Sadguru is the greatest way. Opportunity to destroy all your sins and evolve. Stop talking nonsense. Silence your mind and then shut your mouth. Enticement and minus. The world expanded automatically. This sense of I-ness as a woman is developing her various limbs by very powerful experiments. And then what happens? The whole world came in. The whole world of Maya opened up. Because who did this? You yourself. The birth of Maya is talking about how does Maya come in? By putting bangles of decisions and doubt, she decorates the mind and gives it as a gift to Mamta, that is sense of minus. This Maya sat firmly on the triple seat of three qualities and became very fat. How beautiful this description. I love Eknath Maharaj. Only Krishna Bhagwan can give such a knowledge. Nobody else in this universe. How beautifully he is explaining. By putting bangles of decision and doubt, she decorates the mind. Who is decorating the mind? Oh, I have to take the decision. Decision and doubt. Have you seen how you decide on anything? When you have been told, can you do this? And then say you have to make a decision. The first question is, first thing will come, oh, I should do, if I do this, then I will do this. The doubt comes in. So the decision and doubt. And then you decorate that with your mind constantly. There is always doubt. If your Gurudev says, can you please do this? And the question, yes, Guruji said, I will do it tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next year. Finish, over. That is gone, dead and gone. Doesn't even exist. Why? Because you can't decide and you have doubts. And you decorate this with your mind. And you think you're going to be devoted to your Guru. Minus level. And gives it to, as a gift to mamata, the sense of minus. And what do? You decorate that in your mind and then you give it to the sense of minus. This is a very, very beautiful way of describing this, how Maya comes into us. I love Eknath Maharaj. He is Krishna Bhagwan. And who is his Gurudev? Janardhan Swami. And who is Janardhan Swami? Dattatreya himself. Krishna Bhagwan has to, give an example how to be a good disciple. Because people like to follow protocols, everything in the nonsensical material world. But they don't know how to conduct themselves in front of a Gurudev. Behave uncouth way. What is it saying? Putting, the doubt. You give it as a gift to minus. Why is this minus? Surrender at the lotus feet of your Guru. Magic will happen. You will see how things so seamlessly happen. Why? Because you are under his Chatra Chaya. That is why there is a firewall and there is a protection. Understand, you might go out in the material world. If you don't have the Guru's grace, nothing will work for you. Then your prarabdha karma comes into existence and your destiny takes over. Try experiencing your destiny. You don't even know how much karma you have done. What kind of a destiny you have come with. So don't even provoke Maya. You know why? Because you're challenging Maya. Don't ever challenge her. Be very gracious. This is a very important lesson for all of us, because ego will rise its ugly head when you least expect it. And that is why we have to be very conscious, aware of ourselves, aware of the mind. That is why my Guruji will always say, keep your mind busy. Means what? Keep busy. Keep doing activity. Don't sit and dwell in the mind. He doesn't like 1 minute, you sit and waste. So, we sit and think. But we will not do any work. Procrastination. Why would you do that? My Guruji, even today, my experience of being with him as a body since 1994. When I was 16 years, I met him. I've seen the same discipline in him. He is very sincere and truthful to every job that he does. I've not seen a single person like him. He's the greatest of the father. You must learn how to parent from him. The kind of things he has done. I've seen it. I've always craved for a parent like that. And with his grace, today he's the greatest parent to me. I call him Krishna Ma for this reason. He's not just my parent. He's everybody's parent. This body's parents also, are his children. He takes care of everybody without even opening the mouth. He suffers for everybody's pains, but he will not even utter a single word. He will not even make it known to the world. He is not craving for anybody's recognition. Somebody has to tell him he's great. He's already great. Nobody can give him any accolades or awards or whatever. He is Krishna Bhagwan. He's the greatest of the being in this universe. Understand this truth. Maya is adheen to him. Prakriti is adheen to him. She is always at his beck and call. They work for him. They are waiting eagerly to serve the Sadguru. Everybody is around him. And because you are in his company, everything works in your life, not otherwise. You don't know this truth. So don't take anything for granted. This Maya sat firmly on the triple seat of 3 qualities and became very fat. What is the 3 qualities? Sattva, Ramajas and Tamas, the 3 gunas. She sat on it. So you're constantly operating. Today, though, forget about Sattva. Sattva doesn't exist in any human being. They're full of Tamas and Rajas. Rajas, desires, play. And understand, you're going to learn in this very scripture. Being Rajasic, you can never get, redemption. You can never attain God realization. Krishna Bhagwan makes it very clear. Your every desire is going to be the root cause of your misery and suffering in this world. There's a very beautiful story again in the Upanishad, Ganga. Sorry, I forgot the name of a king. There is a king and he has 4 wives. And you know what happens? His desire is, he has everything, all the opulence, he has a great kingdom, he has everything in life, but he doesn't have a child. So one of the sages come, he visits him. And then he's telling, Raja, so how are you? He's saying, Gurudev, with your grace, I have everything in my kingdom. I have everything, but I don't have a child. I wish to have a child. He asked the sage. He asked the guru. And then this rishi says, you know what he says? Okay, fine, we'll do a yajna. So they perform a sacrifice. And after the sacrifice, he, out of his 4 or 5 wives, he calls one wife. And with her, he performs this sacrifice. And then when the whole thing is finished, he said, everything is good. You're blessed. You will be blessed with a child. But your child will be the cause of your joy and sorrow. So the king gets very upset. Why did the rishi, in the end give such a blessing to me? He's not able to understand why does this happen. And then he's upset, but he forgets about it. A son is born to him. His name is Chitraketu, the king's name. So a son is born to him. And his other wives are already talking. Why is that he chose this particular wife? You and me are also very capable. But the king has only chosen her. That's not correct. Already, ill will, Maya is working havoc in their mind. They are already thinking too many wrong things. So the moment the son is born, Chitraketu is only spending his time with that wife and the child. So all other wives are now very jealous. They're angry, they're upset, and besides, not only wife, the king also has a courtesan as well. Now this courtesan is telling, will you all listen to me? And then there is one of the, while this going on, the one of the wives says, okay, we will listen to you. She says, remove that obstacle itself from the life. Will you do what I ask you to do? And she says, okay, you might have to even kill someone. Will you do that? So all these women gather, see evil, how Maya plays. They are so evil that they're willing to kill a child. And they kill that child. And then what happens? Then Narad Muni and this Rishi Muni, the both of them come. And Chitraketu is very upset. He's crying. He's saying, look at this. You blessed me and you told me that this child is going to be the cause of my joy and sorrow. And today I am suffering. I am in full sorrow. I am very upset about it. So then Narad Muni and both, I forgot the other Rishi's name. Both of them are trying to pacify the king, but the king is not able to understand. Then Narad Muni says, no, understand. He is not your son. What are you mourning at? Why are you so attached? Before he was your son, he must have been son. The Atma is eternal. He must have taken many forms, many births. He must have many parents. And then he's telling, okay, I will call that Atma. You listen from that Atma itself. So he invokes that Atma. And when this, Atma comes and he says, oh, they are not my parents. They are just parents for this life. But I have so many parents. I've been born so many births. I've taken so many forms. So in a gist, the gist is that whatever you desire, understand that has its biggest misery with it. And the root cause of all your miseries are your desires. And how it has been given birth and how Maya plays, how this world of Maya expands is what Krishna Bhagwan is for the first time, Eknath Maharaj has so beautifully described. Nobody has so beautifully described this. Because he is describing Lord's Maya. Only Krishna Bhagwan can describe his Maya. Nobody else can. I'm so sorry. I did not even see the time. We have run out of time. But I'll finish with this verse and we can stop at this verse. This Maya sat firmly on the triple seat of 3 qualities and became very fat. And she sits where? In the Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And became very fat. A big fat ego. And you're only operating between Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. You're tamasic. What does it say? Maya says, oh, you're very tired. Don't do this. Oh, your guru is nonsense. He's teaching bad. This will also, your Maya will say all this. Everything will go in your mind. Please understand. Don't think something is so easy. If somebody is going to reprimand you, you think you have the ability to take it? No, inside it will go, oh, he's talking like this. Why should I listen to him? I was better off somewhere. Why am I here? All that will come. There is no exception to the rule, because that is what Maya is all about. For which your Guru Bhakti has to become highest. The Bhakti towards your Guru has to be so strong that no Maya can disturb you. And no Kali Purusha can even come near you. For which your bhakti is important. Destroy that ego. Ego will never allow you to have that kind of bhakti. Because the sense of I-ness, mine-ness is always going to be there very strong. The complexities of ego, you don't understand yet how complex it is. That is why we under the knowledge that comes, you're not able to understand in the light of in the light. The truth of light you can't understand, because you're still trying to understand based on your mind, and your mind has a lot of mental impression. That is why purity of your heart, purity of your mind and surrender to the Guru has to happen. Till the purity doesn't happen, you don't go through the process, the knowledge, the firmness of knowledge within you doesn't happen. Simple as that. Then how will bhakti come? But first you have to practice. First you have to keep putting effort. Not just listening and not doing anything. Thinking, oh, my life is like this. I go to work, I cook, I do this, do that. And then I expect I'm going on spiritual progress just by listening to satsang. That will only give you a little bit of redemption. Little bit, it will destroy a little bit of impurities in your heart. More than that, nothing it does. But for you to evolve, you need to apply this in your life. What are you doing? What sadhana you're doing is a must. Understand, this is a very important lesson. Please, take a printout of this and keep in front of you. Whenever you get into any mind state, reread this. How does Maya come in? And understand everything is falsehood. Whatever the stories your mind is giving, everything is falsehood. Truth is far from that. When you realize this, you will understand how priceless things you have with you. Having Krishna Bhagavan is the greatest gift. Some life's merit, don't destroy and don't ruin it, because you don't know how Maya can play havoc in your life. And if you don't have that bhakti, easily you will take the same Krishna and throw him out and go away. Like everybody else will then tell bad things about your own Krishna, and you will say Krishna is bad, Krishna is like this, and Krishna Bhagavan is that. You will be ready to even talk all that language. And even your Gurudev, you will be able to say all the bad things about him also. That is what will happen. So be very careful. Take this opportunity and attain Krishna Bhagavan. Love and devotion to him. That is all has to be your goal, nothing else. Life is very beautiful otherwise. With that, we will stop here, and sorry for extending the time. Thank you for joining Sri Ekanathi Bhagavad Satsang. Have a good day and good evening to you all. God bless.